Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to, well, getting truly well informed. Today, we're really digging into the mind itself. Specifically, its hidden workings and, the systematic flaws we all have.
That's right.
Our mission, to unpack those common thinking errors, cognitive biases, logical fallacies, the things that trip us up, and give you some practical ways to sharpen your reasoning. Basically, how to think better. Ready to dive in.
Absolutely. And to do that, we really need to grasp the basic machinery first. Cognitive psychology gives us a great model for this, the dual process theory. You might know it from Kahneman and Tversky.
Thinking fast and slow.
Right.
Two systems.
Exactly. Two systems of thought running in parallel.
Okay, so let's start with system one. What's that like? What's the feel of it?
System one is your mind's rapid response. It's super fast, automatic, totally intuitive. Mostly unconscious, actually.
Like recognizing your friend's face. Or slamming the brakes.
Spot on. Or even just understanding a simple sentence. It relies on these mental shortcuts heuristics. Quick rules of thumb.
Efficient, then.
Very efficient. But here's the catch. It's also where most of our cognitive biases come from. It jumps to conclusions.
Okay, so that's the fast one. Then there's system two, the slower, more deliberate side.
That's the one. System two is your conscious, analytical, effortful thinking.
Yeah.
Problem solving, complex calculations, weighing options. That's system two work.
Right. The part we think of as us thinking.
Usually, yes. But it's a big challenge. System two is, well, fundamentally lazy. It takes real cognitive energy.
Relatable.
Definitely. So it often just defaults to whatever quick answer system one threw up. It sort of rubber stamps it instead of properly checking.
So critical thinking is basically forcing system two to wake up and do its job. To actually scrutinize system one.
Precisely. It's about consciously engaging that slower, more effortful process.
Okay, that makes sense. So these systems lead to different kinds of errors. You mentioned biases, but there are also logical fallacies. How do they differ? It's mind versus argument, right?
Exactly. Let's clarify that. Cognitive biases are like ingrained psychological glitches, unconscious patterns in how your brain processes information. It's a property of you, the thinker.
Got an example?
Sure. Think about catastrophizing. You make one small slip-up in a presentation, and your mind leaps to, I'm a complete failure. They're going to fire me.
Oof. Yeah. Been there. That's the bias, the mind's pattern.
That's the bias working. Now, logical fallacies are different. They're flaws in the structure of an argument. Not about your psychology, but about the logic itself. A property of the argument.
Like attacking the person instead of their point.
That's a classic one. Ad hominem. Don't listen to her climate change argument. She drives an SUV. It avoids the actual reasoning.
Okay, I see the difference. But how do they connect? You said biases can lead to fallacies.
They often do. See, a cognitive bias, maybe fueled by system one, creates a really strong feeling or belief. It feels true.
Right, like that catastrophizing thought feels very real in the moment.
Exactly. Then, your lazy system two, instead of questioning that feeling, might actually construct a fallacious argument to justify it. It rationalizes the bias rather than correcting it.
Wow. So our own minds build bad arguments to protect their own mistakes. That's tricky.
It is. It's a feedback loop.
So how do we break out? How do we actually get better at this? Are there tools?
There are. One really solid framework is the Paul Elder model for critical thinking. Think of it like an operating system for your brain.
Okay.
It gives you elements of thought like purpose, questions, assumptions to dissect any line of reasoning, and intellectual standards like clarity, accuracy, logic to evaluate it. Plus, it emphasizes intellectual traits we need, like humility.
Sounds comprehensive. And how do you use that day to day?
The practical application is often through something like the Socratic method. It's all about asking questions.
Not getting answers, but asking better questions.
Precisely. Probing questions that uncover assumptions, demand evidence, check for inconsistencies. What makes you say that? What evidence supports that belief? Are you assuming X or Y here?
So it forces you to do the thinking.
Exactly. It pushes your system two into action.
Now, something many people are thinking about, AI, artificial intelligence. How does this fit in? Can it help us think better, or does it make us lazy?
Well, it's a bit of both, honestly. Depends how you use it. If you use what we might call directive AI, the kind that just gives you answers straight up, there's a real risk of cognitive offloading.
Meaning you just let the AI do the work.
Yeah, you stop exercising your own critical thinking muscles, and they can weaken over time.
Not ideal. So what's the alternative? How can AI help build those muscles?
The more promising approach is what you could call Socratic AI.
Okay.
Instead of spoon-feeding answers, this kind of AI would act more like scaffolding. It would ask you questions, prompt you to analyze, force you to connect the dots.
Ah, so it guides your thinking process rather than replacing it.
Exactly. It helps you build your intellectual capacity, not erode it. A thinking partner, essentially.
That sounds much more constructive. So as we wrap up this whole process of examining our thinking, spotting errors, it sounds potentially difficult, maybe even a bit confronting.
It definitely can be, which is why the mindset you bring to it is crucial. A non-judgmental, self-compassionate approach is key. Be kind to yourself when you notice these biases or fallacies. Getting defensive or beating yourself up just shuts down learning.
So kindness actually helps you learn better.
Absolutely. It reduces that emotional reaction and keeps you motivated to keep growing.
And maybe the final thought here is, it's not about achieving some impossible state of perfect rationality, is it?
Not at all. Perfection isn't the goal. The real value is in the practice itself.
Yeah.
The continuous, lifelong effort of examining your assumptions, seeking clarity, learning from mistakes, that is the path. That process itself leads to a richer, more thoughtful life.
So the journey is the destination, in a way.
You could say that. It's how we navigate this messy, complex world with a bit more wisdom and maybe even a bit more grace.